Have you ever wondered why Earth feels unfamiliar or why looking up at the stars stirs a longing for a place you cannot quite remember? You are ready to find out why. Our cosmos vibrates with life and consciousness, and as humanity wakes further into this truth, signs keep pointing towards it. We have never been alone. Civilizations beyond our own know us and remain connected to us across vast distances. Part of you belongs to the stars. At the moment of your birth,
Spring back. Oh, and I'm going to talk about putting my bum on the earth when we go into, because I do want to ask you more about the elementals too, if we have time. Okay. Okay. Uh, welcome. Welcome, Miriam. We got to be serious for a second. Welcome to the New Earth Eden podcast. I'm your hostess, Eden Kaz. Let's go. Hello, my dear heart. Miriam, how are you today?
hi Eden. I am really good and I look forward to this conversation with you. I know it's going to be a blast.
Well, heck yeah, it is. Because, audience, please know that Miriam and I have done, we've traded, we've done work together. So I feel like I already know you deeply personally, because when we do work together too, we are very vulnerable. We let each other know really what's going on. So it's really yummy. And I really appreciate that because it lends to a more personal conversation and sharing with all of you guys today. So we are going to get into galactic astrology, Miriam, your past, potentially, and we talked about this off air, Germany and the wars, family, galactic work. I want to ask you if we have time, more questions about the elementals, and I'll explain to everybody why. Atlantis, Lemuria, and then we are recording this at the very end of June, but we want to talk about July 2026. So I'm hoping this will be live before then, but if it'll be right on the cusp of that. May I read your bio?
Yes,
Okay.
go ahead.
Miriam, thank you. Myriam Wiedemann is a galactic astrologer, family constellation facilitator, and geomancer based in Berlin, Germany. Her path to this work ran through architecture, where the question of what operates beneath and above the visible surface of a space eventually led her out of design and into a practice that comprehends, I'm going to say this with such heart, comprehends soul, heritage, and a place as a single field of operation. I love those words. Galactic astrology, which we are going to get more into today, extends the classical birth chart to include the stellar constellations beyond our solar system, making visible where a soul comes from and the mission it has brought into this incarnation. Family constellations reveal what is entangled in the earthly and galactic ancestral field, and shapes the present life. And geomancy clears the ground on which all of this becomes effective. From these three streams, she has developed a synthesis. That's a really tough word to say, but it's not synthesis has developed a synthesis she has not encountered anywhere else, one that serves founders, healers, and visionaries who are ready to express their soul's purpose at full amplitude. She teaches this synthesis in her Star and Earth Academy and works with people across the world who are ready to bring their mission into full expression. Beautiful. Miriam, my first question to you. What do you think the new earth is going to be like fully in full expression?
We don't know yet. That is the great mystery and also the excitement and the whole, well, it is because it is why we're here, right? We want to create it, but in order to create it, we have to go beyond what we know so far. We have to create something new that is not in our consciousness yet. It is imprinted in our soul for sure, but our mind doesn't know and it mustn't know. So it's going to be this super grand surprise. And I also think it's less a destiny than a frequency. We are gradually remembering how to inhabit. And I see this as a moment when humanity reconnects with its galactic origins and finally understands itself as part of a much larger family across the stars. And we don't know how they look like. We remember them. And this is so interesting because we are leaving behind the structures we have created built on separation and fear, and we will probably go into that a bit more. And so now we are building new Earth that is rooted in connection, in heart intelligence, and in the wisdom our ancestors and therefore ourselves once had, both here on Earth and far beyond it. So for me, it is a transition that is, on one hand, deeply personal and on the other side, deeply collective.
Mhm.
And it is both at once. It is co-creation with Earth in a consciousness, together with the guardian races, the elementals. We will get into that as well. And also every soul which is incarnated on Earth right now, because we were all called by Earth to come here and be part of this work she is doing for this unfolding shift. So this is my answer.
That is a lovely answer. I have been over the past couple years, I'm curious to see what you think about this, really looking at different, so going on, just doing a search for different galactic races because, and it has been good because some of them, compared to how we look as humans, are shocking in a way. So I feel like doing all of this and allowing myself to be open to different looks, different ways of communicating, different ways of eating, breathing, if they even need to breathe, or it's just been good for me to go, oh, there's this possibility. And then there's this possibility. I think it takes the shock value away. Like I am truly opening my heart to any possibility. What would you say?
Imagine, well, we are 8 billion souls here on Earth,
Yeah.
officially. Now, imagine our small, beautiful marble in the galaxy with so many billions of other star systems in alone in our Milky Way galaxy. What do you think if we extrapolate the diversity from Earth to the galaxy? Endless possibilities, really, like Star
Yeah.
Trek.
Yes. Yeah. It's even the feline races looking at drawings and AI renderings of that. And
Mm.
it's just it's also captivating. And I would recommend people to do that again to get out of your ooh. Yeah, it just really opens you up. Hey, can you I want to okay, I put questions down to ask more about galactic astrology because I love how you described it. Yeah, what do you think we should do first, Miriam? Should we go into your journey from architecture into this world first? What would you say?
Let's dive into galactic astrology right away.
Okay. Yeah,
I am
let's hear what that is exactly because this was like I am not astrology based. So yeah, give it to us.
so galactic astrology in a way is the ancient way of doing astrology because our ancient colleagues from Mesopotamia and Persia and India, sorry, Egypt, also India, of course, with Vedic astrology, and especially with Vedic astrology, they have included the fixed stars, and we have developed an idea around 88 constellations in the night sky. And those constellations, with their particular fixed stars, are part of the galactic astrology. In classical astrology, we look at the planets of our solar system, right? We
Hmm.
know Mars and Mercury and Venus and Pluto and Neptune and so on. And with galactic astrology, we extend our view beyond the solar system, and we include the alignments of the fixed stars in our birth chart, or in a business chart, or in a synastry chart, and we can apply it in to any astrological feature, even astrocartography, and also what I am doing now, imbuing the fixed star energies into your place of power when I do geomancy for you.
Okay, what was geomancy? What does that mean?
Okay, geomancy is the old, I would even say, science of clearing spaces.
Mm.
Because the Earth is an energetic being with her own energy system. We know that she has water lines running through her. We know that she has energetic grid lines around her. We know that her geology creates friction when there are earthquakes or explosions, and all of that can be healed through geomancy. And it also can be used to clear your own space, your home, and therefore create more harmony and more flow. You probably know how in shamanic traditions we clear homes by smudging mostly and by addressing the ancestral field. And also with feng shui, for example, where there is logic behind it, how to organize your home, and geomancy is the old Western tradition. So whenever anybody talks about ley lines, they talk about geomancy because they know that the energetic um, grid on the Earth is aligned with places where they meet, and there we have created what we now call pyramids or sanctuaries or churches or places of power. And that's what I do as a geomancer. I clear the field and I also enhance the field by building power places for you.
Mm. Mm. Beautiful. Transition, if you would, because I love to hear personal stories because I think they are so good for the audience also to know how people came into doing spiritual work, what they had to tackle, I guess, or move through to get where you are. So how did this happen for you?
So I think I came into this incarnation highly psychic and intuitive. And for a long time, I was both fascinated and frightened by what I could sense around me. And there is mental illness in my family history. And as a teenager, I worried that what I was experiencing meant I was heading toward the same fate. And of course, as a teenager, what do you want to do? You want to fit in, right? So
Yes.
I shut down this part of me, and only when I hit the wall with a deep depression, I felt the world's opening up again, because the fear that comes with not understanding what is happening to you without guidance, without a safe space, creates creates trauma. So I shut this down. I opened it up after the depression, and through the support of caring and committed people with real experience, I began accepting these gifts in small steps. It took a long time.
Okay, so how old were you when this hit, let's say,
Uh, I was in my 30s.
in your 30s?
So, so this was in the 2000s, in the early 2000s,
Okay.
where energetic work was much harder than it is now.
Like I could say, who did you have supporting you?
In the beginning, it was my psychotherapist,
Hmm.
and through her, I was introduced into family constellation, and that was a game changer for me.
Okay, so wait a minute. This was a classically trained person?
Yes.
who
Yes. A
went,
Jungian, yes, a Jungian psychotherapist.
okay, who, okay, who was like, let's go deeper.
Yeah. And also, let's find words for what you couldn't describe before.
Yes.
I had to develop a whole language around what I was feeling so I could feel. It's interesting how this interdependency between word and feeling actually works.
So
Mm.
let me ask you. So when I was the same way, so when I was younger, I around 9 years old, I couldn't sleep because there was something in my hall. And of course, I asked my parents, "Can I sleep in your room?" And they're like, "No, you're 9 years old." So this went on for like probably 2 years where there was tremendous fear. And then in my late 20s, when I opened up into meditation, I was like, "Oh, I could see it. There was a guy in my hall that used to walk up and down, and I didn't like I felt it, yet I couldn't see it." What did you see things? Did you feel things when you were younger? What was it like for you?
I probably felt things more than I could see. And this is the most tricky part, right?
Yeah.
If you have visions, let's say, if you
Yeah.
hear something, if you hear voices, you can address this. But if you just intuit, no, not just intuit, but
Yeah.
if you feel it, then what do you do as a child if you haven't developed a sense around how to express yourself because your parents told you, don't be too sensitive, or, oh, come on, there is nothing there.
Did you hear that? Is that what they
Mm,
told you?
yeah.
So would you feel like a presence there, but you weren't like same thing with me in the hall. Like I felt something, but I couldn't see what it was. So did you feel a presence? Did you feel a
Yes.
darkness? Did you feel depression, or did you feel all of that?
I think I felt darkness a lot. I
Oh,
also felt what I know now, extraterrestrial presence. And
just got chills.
so how do you describe that? How do you describe this to your environment that doesn't want to listen, that doesn't want you to go there?
Yeah.
Probably out of fear themselves, probably about the sense of protecting you because of the mental illness in the family, trying to get you on the cognitive path. So there are a lot of reasons why I shut down my abilities. And I think a lot of people have done that as well.
Yeah. And I think that the paradigm of mental illness is so much opening up to gifts and society going, "Oh no,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
crazy. Shut it down." So yeah, okay, so continue on when you first started moving out of the depression and finding words to fit your feelings, what happened next?
I thought, okay, after 3 years, I'm healed. Let's
Okay.
move on. Let's move on. Let's get this architecture career started. And of course, life had other plans.
What does that mean?
Well, the architecture career never manifested really, and I was always questioning, so what is not working? And the more I asked, the more I understood that the whole paradigm of our turbo economic system is absolutely devastating to the soul. And so I embarked on a path of deep research, shamanic work, family constellation work. I became a mediator because I wanted to understand the communication dynamics and the dynamics of conflict, which is inherent to our society. And from there, at some point, I made the connection between two topics I was really interested in. The one
Mm-hmm.
is spirituality,
Mm-hmm.
and the other is extraterrestrial life. And at some point, I understood, oh, they belong together.
They do indeed, which is why on the show we are going to talk about that a lot. And I'm pretty much every get. I mean, you are very connected. There are some people that aren't as connected, but it's interesting to hear perceptions on that because I think, well, most everybody that comes on the show, it's like has to have some sort of connection at this point because it is so imperative into the vibration in terms of going into the new earth. We talked about this a little bit before the show, and I wanted to ask you about growing up in Germany. And we had talked about too, you grew up close to Dachau as well, which is one of the camps, one of the concentration camps for Hitler. And in my great awakening versus just my spiritual awakening, became aware that the wars, World War I, World War II, all of them have just been a profit machine, that they weren't about enemies or keeping people safe or any of that. It was about generating money. And, we're going to kill people and we're just going to, and America was highly influential in all of those. So that finding that out really had me take pause. And then after World War II, also knowing that Operation Paperclip, that a lot of the German officers that did some of the worst human atrocities were brought in to the United States, made citizens, and put in some of the most high security level operations like NASA. And then I was also sitting here going, I wonder if those gentlemen were even human. So I would love your perspective on that.
Yes, if we talk about war as a money machine, then we have to talk about the ethics behind it and the ethics of war.
What are the ethics? Because
Exactly.
apparently there were none.
There aren't. Well, there are the Geneva Protocols,
Yeah.
how to conduct war. Again, a question of negotiation, right? Of
Mhm.
mediation. We have a long story of mediation in Germany, especially around the 30-year war. So we know how to do things, and we talked about this also in Germans love rules and regulations. So.
I've experienced that firsthand. Yes.
So, coming back to your question, there are no ethics in war, and there are no ethics probably in economy. So, if we combine both, what do we have? We have just politics, and politics say whenever something is supporting me in my goal, then I will use it. So, why not use those highly trained, very professional scientists, the Nazi scientists, and use them for the development of our war machine, let's say.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that they, like Werner von Braun, who
Mhm.
was in NASA, how this developed, how this accelerated the space faring industry in America. Why is that? Why was there such an emphasis on going off-world? These are the interesting questions. And then, of course, we come to the negotiations with the extraterrestrials,
Mhm.
especially during the Nazi regime, um, but also after the World War with the American government
Yes.
and probably worldwide. And well, we are now at the moment where disclosure happens in small increments. The US government is releasing data um, in their way of distracting people a lot by giving us the raw data. So we
Yes.
have to sift through it all. Nonetheless, it is there, and we can find what we're, if we know what we're looking for. So this is the political or exopolitical part of it all, and the spiritual part of it needs to be integrated into disclosure, I think. That is the most important thing.
Okay. And I don't mean to be American centric. I know the treaties that were with Eisenhower and with every president in the US, basically giving, a lot of the, not, and again, the one that I know about is giving permission to the Greys, if I'm saying this correctly, to study on humans, yet there to be a kind of a contract with that. But I didn't think about it with other governments around the world. I just feel very not very expansive in that because that makes complete sense. Do you feel that a lot of the technologies that have been after World War II, I'm imagining they are amazing technologies, mind blowing technologies. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. But I would like to go back to what you said earlier with the
Yeah.
treaties around the Eisenhower government. Laura Eisenhower, his great-granddaughter,
Mhm.
is researching this, and it is probably not as it looks like. We
Okay.
know that there is this greater, let's say, organization behind it all called Majestic 12. And we probably don't go into that, but
Yes.
everybody can do their own research. And I encourage everyone to hop into a couple of rabbit holes because it's fun and it's enlightening. So coming back to the technology, yes, we have a lot of alien technology. Bob Lazar is talking about this, and many other whistleblowers come out and say that we have re-engineered extraterrestrial technology for our own benefit in exchange for probably humans who were abducted and researched on. So a huge topic. And if we have disclosure around this all, then we will face a completely different society, I'm sure of it. And astrology is in favor of this, I have to say.
Well, and I had Brad Olson on the show a while back. He also talked about Antarctica and the
Yes.
Germans having a really big place in there, an underground city. And I feel like your country has had your, how do I say it, has known about a lot of this for a long time.
Yes, there is a deep esoteric knowledge around it all. Coming from the Vedic traditions and from India, going north around Russia, and then coming back to Germany. So there is a huge arc of knowledge coming from the east into the west. And the Nazis especially were really interested in all of this esoteric knowledge. So they conducted a couple of excursions, not only to Antarctica, but also to India, Nepal, I believe, where they try to find the entrance to inner world as well, Shambhala. And a couple of people have said that they have probably found it. It was also that they had connections to Tibet, where a lot of ancient knowledge is stored still. So the esoteric undercurrent of the Nazi regime is not to be underestimated, and not a lot of people talk about it. It is too dangerous, I think.
Mm. Do you feel that most of the motivation behind it was dark or
Hmm. Well, it was used in the end towards dark magic for sure. Um, I don't know if everything was in the first place thought to be used that way. But again, humans tend to use everything they find, not
Yeah.
only to the benefit of others, but also to achieve supremacy over the other. And
Yes.
we make not only tools, but we love to make weapons still, unfortunately.
Yes. And the beautiful thing is we're going to be moving away from that, Miriam. Thank you so much for sharing that, knowing that you're in that energy, you're in that country. Thank you. Thank you. I want to turn to Atlantis-Lemuria because I feel like this also is a great transition there. But I want to ask you one other question first. Yet, knowing that a guest that I just had on recently stated also that, this great split that we're going through, that potentially we're also heading into Atlantis being created again. Okay, so I want to get your feel on that. Yet I want to bring this topic in. So in the session I had with Miriam was so beautiful because I, initially I was like, oh, what star seed am I a long time ago? And then realized, oh my gosh, I'm pretty much all of them on one level or another. So it became less important to know who I was a part of, but knowing, yeah, Palladian, yes, Arcturian, yay. Yet what was so great with my session with you was that when Mother Earth called me to come back on this planet, where was I at that point? Because my gifts, and tell me if this is correct, my gifts from there were pivotal in terms of coming here. So that was really neat. Then I found out that my soul family are the elementals, which we talk about pixies, fairies, dwarfs, Sasquatch, unicorns, all of that. So Miriam gave me guidance from there. And I'm telling you guys this because, again, there, for me, every week I learn something fantastic and beautiful. And, when you're on this journey, just what comes to your attention is so amazing. So we also talked about, okay, DIY, I have a really tight bum. So how to work on that. So in the mornings, because of the breatharian stuff, I also go out and it's beautiful here in the summer in Ohio is lovely. I go out in the grass. I turn towards the sun, drink the nutrition in with the sun. Also, I'm bare bottomed. So my neighbors don't quite know this yet. I'm bare bottomed. I sit on the ground and have Mother Earth, the energy come up through me, which has been beautiful. This has been like 2 weeks. Then I also focus on the elementals in my yard. Uh, I kind of close my eyes and imagine the fairies and the trees, and it's just been really fabulous. So I've also been trying to focus on an elemental each night, doing more research. So last night was the dwarves. So I think my man is part dwarf, which cracks me up. Miriam. He is a builder. And they talked about also doors having a resentful nature, and he's got that as well. But he just creates and is a craftsman, and he's kind of got the build that I would imagine. What the elemental kingdom, can you describe that and the role that they are taking in helping heal the earth?
Okay, so from the geomantic perspective, we have to make a distinction between elementals and nature beings. I know that they are called elementals in English language, but elementals are quite separate and quite different to nature beings.
Thank you.
Nature beings are those that you describe, the fairies, the dwarfs, the trolls, the phoenix, maybe the dragons, the unicorns, everything, all those beings that we have banned into the sphere and realm of fairy tales, of myths, and so on. But they are actually quite real. And some of them are embodied in 3D, really. Most of them are in 5D. And they are part of four keeper races, ancient keeper races that we have on Earth. And those are the humans who are sacred keepers of the Earth. There are the nature beings which tend to the more energetics, to the energetics of the earth, the plants, the stones, the crystals, the earth herself. And they have their own way of doing things. They take care of chakras, the earth chakras. They take care of water lines. They tend to the seeds and to the plants, to the blossoms and everything. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any life really. And then we have the whale collective. And the whale collective, like the humans and nature beings, they are the ones who tend to the oceans, to the memory of the earth, which is stored in water. And they, as us humans, anchor light in the planet. We anchor light into where we are at. That's why I am in Germany. I have to anchor light here. And you are anchoring light where you are at. That is our most important and most noble task we have. And the whales do the same. They anchor light in the water. And last but not the least, the fourth race are the trees. They are keeper races themselves, and we know how healing they are. We know how they store the memory of the earth in their root network, how they communicate, how they help each other. They have these tribes of trees really where they heal each other and where they communicate not only with each other but with other beings as well. We start to recognize that now, but we have known all of this for a long time. We just forgot over the last 100 or 150 years when we became so focused on technology again, and the old wisdom and the ancient knowledge more got, yeah, we put it in the background, but they are coming back. And your question around the elementals are beings that live in the elements and they express themselves, let's say, through fire. It can be a little spark, but it can be the roaring wildfire as well. It can be the beautiful flame of the candle when we meditate, and it can be the campfire. So any kind of fire has their own elemental that works through it. Did I answer your question?
You did. I want to ask you one more. Who is your favorite? Do you have a favorite elemental?
Oh, a favorite elemental.
Yeah.
So in my chart, fire and air are most dominant. So I am very much connected to the fire elementals. I'm very much connected to the air elementals. And I want to be more present and more aligned with the water and the earth elementals. And I think bringing them into your life and aligning with them is such a richness and an enrichment and an abundance of understanding how you yourself work and how the elementals work through you as well. So when we have this conversation, what do you think? Which elemental is present? Of course, it's the air elemental because we are exchanging thoughts. We talk with each other. We communicate. So the air elemental is quite present right now, I believe.
All right, let me ask you this one. Which nature being are you really aligned with?
Oh, this is a
Like that
really
line.
hard question, Eden.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Here it is again.
I have, okay, let's go deep.
Okay.
So this is my first life, my first incarnation on the surface of the earth for a long time. I have been in inner earth before. And in
Yes.
earth, I had a dragon companion. So I believe that I am very much connected to the dragons.
Okay, when you had a dragon companion, what does that mean in that life? Like, oh, Fred's right here. Fred's with me all the time. Fred the dragon. Did y'all grow
I
up together or how did that work?
we grew up. We probably grew up together. We trained
Oh,
together. We were a
oh,
unit. We did work together, probably. And in one of my past life regressions, I understood that I was a messenger between inner Earth and the surface Earth. And I used my dragon to deliver messages, for example. Very interesting. So, and I didn't do it by myself, I didn't use it as an animal to ride on. It
yeah.
was more like, yeah, it was like, yeah, we were a team.
Yeah,
We
it
were
sounds like a partnership.
a partnership, yes.
Was knowing that dragons are also varied in sizes. Do you know, was it a really big dragon or what? Do
It
you know
was
what it looked
quite
like?
big in what I saw. Yeah,
Okay.
quite frightening also. They
Oh,
are not they are not beings to be messed with. That
yeah.
is but that is actually the case with all nature beings. We don't mess with them. We do not
Don't you mess with those
because
fairies?
oh, don't you mess with dwarfs.
Mm, nice. Let's beautiful segue into Atlantis and Lemuria. Yeah, talk about that. And no, and there's also a like an alignment, star alignment that contributes as well. Yeah, talk about that, please.
So again, from geomantic understanding, we had a couple of civilizations in Lemurian and Atlantean times. We didn't just have one Atlantis or one Lemuria, and they coexisted during a period of time. In Lemuria, we were more in upper 5D consciousness, even 7D, where we were not fully embodied and where we were in unity with Earth consciousness and everything that exists. And at some
Mm,
point, we decided, let's try this out. Let's try to become materialized. Let's try to have a body and let's try to have a form and create with our body, create from the Earth herself. And that's when we started Atlantis, and it was a great utopia. And we all know in our collective memory, we have the trauma of Atlantis falling when we overdid it with our hubris. As I said before, humans tend to create tools, but also terrible weapons. And that's what probably caused the fall of Atlantis. The memory of both Lemuria and Atlantis was stored in the high civilizations like Egypt, but also South America and Asia, where they still exist in lower capacity. So we do not mess with the energetics that are around. And now, with the remembrance that comes after the 12,000 year cycle is ending right now, more and more memory around Atlantis and Lemuria comes into our awareness. And what I, in my galactic astrology readings, using the asteroid Atlantis in the chart, found out that there is really a very polarized energy around Atlantis and Lemuria. Clients usually, when I ask them, align either with Atlantis very strongly or with Lemuria very strongly. However, there is no asteroid at Lemuria yet. I understand why. We will probably find an asteroid and name it Lemuria, but for now there isn't. So astrologers use, let's say, how do you say, step-ins for for Lemuria using other asteroids that are talking about the founding myths of the earth and the creation myth of the earth, like Hawaii or Makemake or so. That was never enough for me. So
Hmm.
I decided to do some research around the opposite point of the Atlantis placement in one's chart. And it makes sense. So it is an axis in your chart. On one side sits the Atlantis asteroid, and on the other side sits the Lemuria point. And both um, reveal the tension that many of us experience between the two ancient expressions of our soul memory.
Interesting.
And Atlantis is associated with power, knowledge, and technological mastery. And on the other side, with Lemuria, it is more associated with heart intelligence, community, a deep natural connection to Earth. And now that we are reascending into 5D, we are asked to reconcile both poles rather than favoring one or the other, because we need the clarity and structure from the Atlantean wisdom, and it needs to be paired with compassion and groundedness of the Lemurian wisdom. And when a person sees this axis reflected in their own chart, it often explains long-standing tension they have felt between achievement and belonging, or mind and heart, if you want.
Yeah.
And well, if I may, I can talk a bit about your Atlantis-Lemuria axis in your chart, Eden.
Yeah. How about we go into that shortly? Do you think it will benefit other people to hear that?
Well, I don't know,
Okay, let's do a little
probably.
bit of it. Because I also, as you're talking, there are two things I want to go ahead and ask you right now. I
Mhm.
want to ask about your interpretation of the fall, what actually happened. And then as you're talking about finding the balance between Atlantis and Lemuria, it feels like as a collective, if several of us can start working on that balance, whether it's just thinking about it or feeling it, that feels really, really strong. Okay, go ahead and give me an idea so others will know kind of what my attraction is or unbalance or
Yeah,
where do I fall within that?
your Atlantis placement is in Pisces in the third house, conjunct the royal star Fomalhaut, the
Mhm.
frequency of the messenger who decodes higher knowing and finds the words for others to receive it. And your podcast feels like a direct expression of this placement. The transmissions of cosmic understanding into a form your listeners can take with them. And your Lemuria point is in the opposite side, in Virgo, in the ninth house. And this is the frequency of a new earth idealist whose wisdom,
I
whose
like
wisdom
that
comes,
because it's true.
yes, and it comes through the body and daily practice and the attunement to the earth. No wonder you are loving sitting with your
Mhm.
naked butt on the earth.
It's so necessary. And it is like the strength I told you about before we started recording. There I think the strength not coming off of the breatharian, the strong initiation, but just the strength of the earth also coming into me. It's just so I want to say intense, but it's not intense in a negative way. I feel every fiber of my being just coming online again in a new way.
This is the Lemurian energy, the Lemurian remembrance stored in your DNA for sure. And it is also part of you building a sanctuary, you see, where wisdom becomes a place where people can enter and feel for themselves. It makes absolute sense what you're doing, both your Atlantean and your Lemurian placement. And it is the synthesis is to align the bridge between the two on this axis. So decoding the higher frequencies and the sensing what the society needs to come into harmony. That is exactly what your Atlantis-Lemuria axis in your chart is talking about.
I'm gonna put my hand on my heart. This is such good knowledge for me to have and for people that are interested in coming to you because the way you expressed it, there suddenly like I'm getting chills in my body. There are just alignments that even hearing that from you align stronger, if that makes sense. Like, oh yeah. And for those who may not know, I am called right now. So I'm in Ohio right now. I've been called to go to New Mexico. And I don't know when this is going to happen, but it'll be soon to Taos and to build this radical earthship. And Miriam has also told me that the nature beings will be there to support me in this. And also this Lemurian Atlantis, intertwinement coming together. So it just, for me, makes my path stronger. So I'm assuming people coming to you also the clarity and just again, we're at this point too where having just a bit of knowledge or something, it just aligns you automatically without you even having to really think about it. I love that because I've come from a path. I had to think about things. I had to sit with things. I had to, and now it's just all easier.
It is easier and the synchronicities become stronger. And we meet the exact people we for the next step of our consciousness expansion, right? Like we both
Yeah.
met. It was divinely guided, and you know, your session, Eden, helped me to
Oh,
understand a dynamic within myself that was holding me back and created so much tension within me. And with your session, with the soul alignment that you did for me, it kind of evaporated, it made so much sense. And now I can work on it, and the block is gone. It is quite magical. So, what I'm saying is, we meet now the people who help us on our path forward. We do not need to sit with something and wait until the revelation comes. We just talk to each other, and the more we talk with each other, the better for everyone. And at some point, we will be telepathic, of course. Okay. Stop.
yeah. Okay. This is so riveting. Can you go into what you're seeing happening in July?
In July, there will be a constellation, yes, in the sky, where the three outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, form an alignment that I call the Golden Triangle. I'm
Ooh,
probably not the only one. So we are moving through an extraordinary window right now because, and I have to talk a bit about this, Pluto entered Aquarius in November 2024 and will remain there until 2044. And marks a generational realignment in how humanity relates to freedom, equality, collective consciousness. Neptune entered Aries in February of this year, 2026, and will remain there until 2039, also quite a long time. And again, a generational shift in how humanity relates to vision, idealism, the dissolving of illusions on
yep.
both two-sided metal, of course. And Uranus entered Gemini in April 2026 and will remain there until 2033. And this is the shift in how humanity relates to communication, information,
Ooh,
and the collective awakening in general. So this July, Neptune in Aries, Uranus in Gemini, and Pluto in Aquarius form this harmonious connection until the middle of 2029. So this is a huge time frame.
okay.
And this combination is a direct catalyst for our collective evolution into a galactic society.
Ooh.
It will.
Let's take a pause from the show. What if I told you there is an ascended way of eating and drinking? Because there is. It's called breatharianism. And I see it as a new earth way of existing as we are becoming less dense and crystalline. It is about learning how to take nutrition from energy, from the sun, from chi, from prana. And one of the big benefits I can tell you about, because I've been through the breatharian initiation myself, is that most people consume, when they're completed, about 50 to 90% less of food and water. I am at 50%. So if you want to learn more about this process, see Ray Morar, who is my facilitator, and I'll talk more about that in a second, episode 221. If this floats your boat in any way, Ray has given me permission to offer 5% off his breatharian initiation processes. So see the links below and give it a try if you feel like it. Oh, one of the other things, science says you can only go 3.5 days without water. I went 4, other initiates went 5, some went 8. There is so much to learn about the human body and our existence, and all of this is powering up the new earth. Let's get back to the juicy podcast. Thank you.
Direct catalyst for our collective evolution into a galactic society.
Ooh.
It will probably not unfold in a straight line. That's not how humans work.
Right.
It comes in waves with periods of intense change, followed by integration periods, grace periods,
Yeah.
thankfully. But what matters most is where each of us directs our attention and our energy during this time, because that is what determines how this larger shift actually plays out for humanity as a whole. And that's what I am talking about over and over again. In which fields do you place your attention?
Yeah.
Do you place your attention in the field of war and conflict and materialism? Or do you place your attention in the fields of harmony and balance and creation, co-creation?
Mhm.
And I have decided where to put my attention for sure.
Yes. And moving again, are you going to be stuck where you are right now? Are you going to move into, again, none of this is linear, into 4D to 5D to 6D? Because we have, I feel such, what's the word I'm looking for? Such potential, I guess, to when we really feel this galactic container and containment and all the I don't want to powers, but they're not really powers. Like when we come online with all of that, just so amazing. Hey, I want to go back to Atlantis for just a second, and please feel free to come back on this if there's more to say. When there was a fall, what happened? Did everything go underwater? Do you have an idea?
So it was not, yeah, there was a huge flood wave, and there are a couple of people who talk about what has happened in the Younger Dryas, called as the Great Flood, 12,000 years ago. And that is actually very much aligning with the astronomy and the astrology of this 12,500 cycle that occurs over and over again. And we are moving from one cycle into the next right now. That's why we all who were in
Got it.
Atlantis working are reincarnated right now on Earth to make a decision. Do we want to work towards New Earth, or do we want to, get keep stuck in the old paradigm?
Mhm.
So what I think, so Atlantis was not just an island, as Plato described. It was a civilization, probably a worldwide civilization. And what happened was kind of a huge catastrophe, probably atomic explosion, something like that, that created this huge flood wave that where everything that we have built was submerged. I think that happened. I think that was quite real. And a lot of people who have memories of the last moments in Atlantis have memories of the flood wave coming. So I think we tinkered with stuff we shouldn't have. And
Mhm.
And we blew up the whole thing. And the question is, do we want to do this again? We are at the
Yeah.
verge of being able to do this again. And that's where the topic around the Nazi scientists coming to America comes in so interestingly, because they helped to create the atomic bomb, right?
Mhm.
And
Yes. Yes.
this is exactly where we are at. Are we allowed to experiment with these, yeah, with this technology we do not fully understand and we absolutely can't control?
What what are your with Dolores Cannon? Are you I'm sure you're familiar with her. What do you think of her?
I myself have never trained in quantum hypnosis
Yeah.
therapy. I love the modality. I find it very valuable, and I think that Dolores Cannon helped tremendously to wake up a lot of people. And I love how she described the waves of volunteers that came in. That gives me goosebumps every time I talk about it. The ones that came in first, who came in, they were the bravest because they came into this dense environment after the Second World War, where everything was so materialistic and which makes sense from a family constellation perspective. We needed to find security in the most basal in the most basal things like materialism, but there was no space for spirituality really. And they paved the path for all of the generations of spiritual beings that came in after.
I know, and I heard a lot of them committed suicide as well, going, "What the heck am I doing here? I don't feel like I fit in." And I think Dolores Cannon was definitely a way shower because she
She was.
describes it very much as, like a neutral party. I'm a journalist here to tell you what I discovered. You take it or you leave it. Not this, oh my gosh, you have to believe what I'm talking about. So she was so good at just, again, communicating and getting things out there, going, you take it, you leave it. I have done all this research and time after time people are saying the same thing, same thing. So I must acknowledge it and share it with everybody. So I feel that she is just tremendous and
Yes,
way
she is.
ahead of her time.
Yeah, and she did this phenomenological approach, which makes a lot of sense, looking what is in the field, what is repeating itself over and over again, and therefore it must hold meaning. And what is the meaning behind it? She was really good at connecting the dots, and
She was.
she was really important for our spiritual development towards New Earth.
Yeah, and I agree. She also went beyond with hypnotism. Basically, don't go into deeper into the psyche. I know I'm not saying those words quite correctly, but there's only a certain point that you go to. And she was like, "I'm gonna go further," and that's
Yeah,
where all the discoveries were. And yeah, I think that's the key for all of us is to go further. I tell me, Miriam, to go into the New Earth practice, it feels really good at this point. Would that be okay with you?
sure. I
Okay,
love to.
let's do it.
Okay. So I would like to guide your audience into a short meditation, and I will connect you with your star family.
Oh, nice. Okay, love that.
So we begin simply settling into the breath and bringing attention to the heart space. From there, I invite you to ask within yourself, which star system feels familiar? Which name or image arises without forcing it. And this is not about study or memorizing facts about constellations. It is about remembering something the soul already knows. Have you ever wondered why Earth feels unfamiliar to you sometimes? Or why looking up at the stars Stirs a longing for a place you cannot quite remember. You are ready to find out why. Our cosmos vibrates with life and consciousness, and as humanity wakes further into this truth, signs keep pointing towards it. We have never been alone. Civilizations beyond our own know us and remain connected to us across vast distances in ways that feel both unfamiliar and oddly familiar. Part of you belongs to the stars. At the moment of your birth, certain fixed stars occupied particular positions within your chart, forming a bridge to your star family, to your galactic origin, and today you make contact with them in your own way, softly and gently. Now take a slow inhale through your nose and release it through your mouth. And one more deep inhale and let it go fully. Let your breathing find its own natural rhythm. Notice the weight of your body where it meets the surface beneath you. Let it grow heavy, fully supported by the ground below. Soften your jaw, your shoulders, and your neck. Picture yourself in a meadow full of wildflowers, the earth beneath you soft and fertile, warmed by a day of sunshine. Now the sun lowers towards the horizon, and the color above turns gold, deepens into violet, then into midnight blue, until it becomes velvet black. The first stars begin to appear, one, then another, then hundreds, until the whole expanse above you becomes a sea of light. These stars have shone for ages beyond counting, and between you and them runs a thread older than memory itself. One of these stars is your origin. As you take in this field of stars, one of them begins to draw your attention, calling you, recognizing you in a way you didn't choose for yourself. It shines brighter than the rest, and it pulses gently as you watch it begin to draw nearer, closer, and closer still. Its light becomes more vivid now, and you notice its color, gold perhaps, like liquid sunlight, or silver blue, or a color for which Earth has no word at all. Look closely. This color is the signature of your star system, and you remember it. Place a hand over your heart and feel it beating beneath your palm. Your heart begins to open in its own time, unfurling like a flower, petal by petal. And a fine thread of light grows outward from it, rising up to connect with the center of that star. This connection has always existed, and today you remember it fully. Let your awareness follow this thread of light, drifting upward through the space between worlds, weightless and free. Softly, you find yourself within the light of the star, in your star space now, your cosmic home. You're not alone here. Your family is present, beings who have known you since the beginning of your soul's journey. I'll count to three, and at three, ask them to reveal themselves to you. 1, 2, 3. Reveal yourselves. Notice what happens now. A form, a light, a sound, a touch. And trust that whatever you perceive is correct. This is your time with your family. In the stillness, ask whatever you wish, or simply remain here, present with them. And for now, slowly prepare to return as the thread begins to pulse once more, sealing what has happened here. You drift back through the night towards Earth. Feel the meadow beneath you again, the ground beneath that supports you. Inhale deeply and notice your fingers, your toes. Gently move your fingers, move your toes. And when you're ready, open your beautiful eyes again. A color was shown to you today, the signature of your star system, and a place in your body was touched, the point where your star signature settles. This experience is entirely real, and the connection is yours now, available whenever you wish to return to it.
So nice. I got to tell you, I on this earth, how do I, again, another one of these things it's hard to describe. I've not felt much human being support, let's put it that way, like support from God and now, the galaxies and soul families. I am feeling such support right now. It's so neat. And when I bridge the gap, I guess, of that support, it shows up more in human connections as well. So knowing that everything that's inside is also a mirror outside, but not having to be so quiet and within myself. Now I can really branch out and that's what this time is calling for as well. So thank you so much for that. Let's go ahead. Miriam, where can people find you?
They can find me on my website, Myriam-Wiedemann.de for Germany. And uh, and also I have a YouTube channel where I have content around galactic astrology, but I also have a podcast
Which I will be
where
on. Let me put that. I'll be
exactly.
on shortly.
And yeah, on my website, you can find all the necessary links. And also, if your audience would love to receive an extended version of today's meditation, it's available for you simply via the link I'll share with you, Eden.
Okay, yeah, please do. I don't think I have that link right yet. So will you share it with me on email?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
awesome. Meditation further. All right, let me make a note of that. Okay, there's one more question I want to ask you. Yet, I want to ask everybody, please like and subscribe to this podcast. It just helps get the message out and makes the show stronger. And then Mary and I, when the show is live for at least 2 days, we are going to be there to comment, answer questions. We're going to be creating this community and fulfilling this new earth that is coming our way. The one thing we really didn't talk about, and I'm going to ask you to do this quickly, which I know this is probably not very fair of me, but in terms of family work that you do, also knowing that every time I heal something within me, it affects my daughters and my family that's within me, and knowing that you are working, like, is it a mom and children? How does that look for you? Like, who are
Mm.
you actually working with?
So in family constellation, we work in ancestral healing,
Yeah.
where hidden dynamics across generations become visible through representatives standing in for family members. And what I have done, I have expanded this technique to include our galactic ancestry alongside our earthly one.
Mhm.
And I explore not only the patterns passed down through our human bloodline,
Yeah.
but also soul history connected to our star families. And what tends to surface is quite remarkable because we often uncover unresolved trauma or also unclaimed gifts that
Mm.
span both lineages at once. You know, the resolution that follows is far more than the individual in the room. And which I find so fascinating in family constellation is that no one heals in isolation.
Ooh.
And as one person clears something within their own field, the whole system
Yeah.
shifts with them. That's what you
Yeah.
have experienced.
Hmm.
And I mean this literally also on a cosmic scale. When we heal ourselves, we heal our ancestry, but we also heal the universe. And I
Wow.
see this as a direct contribution to the healing required for New Earth.
You go. So it's not that you're working, quote unquote, with families, but an individual and tapping into the family. So I just worked on a huge human genetic pattern that had been passed down and passed down and passed down. It was tremendous to heal from. Oh my God. It was just like at one point it felt like, how am I going to do this? It's so heavy because I also realized it's not, it's affected so many, so many. So it was just a biggie. And I have not done a soul galactic in my knowledge. So that is really intriguing. Okay, everybody, lots to think about. The meditation was great, Miriam. Thank you so much for lending your gifts to us today in service. Thank you so much, honey.
Oh, you're welcome. I love doing this, and you are such a great host. Thank you, Eden, for sharing this space with me.
Thank you. I will drink that in. All right, you guys. See you soon. Thank you, Miriam.
You're welcome.